Welcome.
I'd like to ask some questions about a corporate report that appeared at General Committee last week. And it's Corporate Report 9, Request for Additional Information, Security Incidents in City Facilities. Would I be allowed to do that here?
Okay.
Well, my first question is, what was the purpose of the report? I understand that Council made a request for the report, and I would just like to know what elected officials hoped to get from this report, like the mandate.
Who would like to answer? We don't have a copy of R9. I only have R8.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, General Committee. Oh, okay. 2, 3.
It was recommended that it be received for information, and a last council meeting it was passed, and council had no questions on it, so I assume that the report gave you the information that you wanted. And I've been reading the report, and I would just like to know what the purpose of it, and the mandate, and what it is that you hope to get from it.
Maybe Brenda can help us on this.
Through you, Madam Mayor, if you will recall at our budget committee discussions of last year, there was some discussion around security and security coverage, and we were looking at possible budget cuts and where we could maybe save some money. And at the time, there was a request for additional information on just the history of security incidents across the city, and this report is brought forward in response to that.
Okay, I have some questions regarding it. And I don't know if you can look at page 3 of the report. You don't have it at all. Okay.
Just a second. Everybody's talking. Good. Let's hear the presentation, and then councillors can comment.
Well, one of the things is, as you know, I've spent hundreds of dollars getting the printouts from the Mississauga Corporate Security Database. They look like this. And I've been analyzing them, and I actually gave you a couple of emails with my own analysis. And now, when I've read this, I realize that I might have given you wrong information, because I don't understand the data that's here, and I can give you a good example. In 2006...
If I may on a point of order, I appreciate the concerns. I think we're happy to deal with them, but I would have hoped they would have been raised at General Committee when we had the document before us. But Madam Mayor, I think what might be appropriate, I would happily move that it go back to General Committee. You can come and make your presentation. Staff will be briefed on what it is that we're talking about. We'll have a copy of the report, and we'll spend the whole day dealing with it. But you catch us flat-footed because we dealt with it at General Committee. All we have are the cryptic notations here, and I'd like to give it the attention that it deserves. So, Madam Mayor, would that
would be absolutely wonderful, because I was caught flat-footed, and I stayed up till about 3:49 when I went to bed trying to prepare for this. So that'd be absolutely
Madam Mayor, I'm
wonderful.
happy to refer it back to General Committee, put them on the agenda. You'll list yourself as a debutant, and at least we'll all know what we're talking about.
Thank you.
We don't, unfortunately, we can't deal with it.
Yeah.
We don't have the report in front of us.
It worked out to my favor. Thanks very much.
Okay.
Thank you. All in favor? Any opposed? Brenda, do you want to speak?
I was just going to suggest that if the deputant wishes, they could submit the questions to us ahead of time so we could be prepared to respond at General Committee if that's your
Ursula, could you submit the questions in advance to the staff so that the staff can advise and report to council to the answers to your question? Okay? Thank you. Does anybody else wish to address council on any item that's on the agenda? If not, we'll move ahead then. Corporate reports.
Okay.
Councillor Parrish.
I just had a couple of questions on R1, the torch, flippant torch presentation.
I likely have a problem.
We just finished doing
There's no exaggeration.
100
questions
we're
on
absolutely
this
finished.
particular thing,
Between
so
Coke
we'll be
and
doing
Pepsi,
it.
and I noticed
So it worked out really well. So we'll go back.
R1B, that the presenting partners for the tour Trila are Coca-Cola and RBC. RBC's one of our My Mississauga presenters. Is that going to pose any kind of difficulty